Dustin Poirier was left disappointed recently as his second title fight in the lightweight division ended in defeat to reigning champ Charles Oliveira. It has recently been suggested that the Diamond could be making a move up in weight class as he searches for that elusive UFC title. Today we're discussing Poirier's recent apparent bulk up, what that might mean for his future in the UFC. Don't go anywhere. First of all, let's have a look at his career so far. Poirier, an 11-year veteran of the sport's top promotion, has recently had his highs and lows along the way. He was part of the WEC promotion, which was acquired by the UFC parent company, Zuffa, and the two companies were soon merged. Poirier made his UFC debut in a unanimous decision win against Josh Crispy, and went on to win his following 3 fights in the promotion, including a submission win against former featherweight champ Max Holloway. He then took a couple of L's in his next 3 against Korean Zombie, Chan Sung Jong, and Cub Swanson. Having picked up his form with 3 consecutive wins after these losses, he faced an in-form Conor McGregor, who was steamrolling everyone in his path at the time, and also fell victim to the Irishman with a first-round knockout. Poirier then went on another 4-straight win streak before losing to Michael Johnson. A 6-fight undefeated spell came straight after, which included a no contest with Jim Miller. It also included a couple of notable wins against former champs Anthony Pettis and Eddie Alvarez. His first title fight came next, in which he was dominated by Khabib and submitted in the 3rd round. He then beat Dan Hooker before a pair of back-to-back wins over McGregor to gain revenge for his earlier defeat back in 2014. He most recently lost another title fight against Charles Oliveira. So what's behind his recent bulking? Stay with us to find out. In a recent social media post similar to that of old foe Conor McGregor, Dustin Poirier hinted at the idea that he might be headed for a heavier weight division. The Diamond was noticeably bigger than he usually is, and this set the rumor mill off into overdrive. Poirier posted a picture with some seriously big guns on show, with the caption, "Bulking." It was suggested recently that Poirier might be the next to take on popular Stockton fighter Nate Diaz, but nothing's been confirmed just yet. Poirier has previously spoken about making his way to the welterweight division, and with his 2018 bout against Diaz not having gone ahead, could we see this as the next big fight booked in the division dominated by Kamaru Usman? We think Poirier could certainly do some damage in a higher weight division, and are sure of some guys up there won't be looking forward to the emergence of yet another talented fighter in an already super stacked division. Poirier has previously spoken of his advocacy of more weight classes in the promotion, as the jump between lightweight and featherweight of 15 pounds is too big. What do you make of Poirier's potential jump up to welterweight? And who would you like to see him fight should the Diaz fight not actually go ahead? Let us know below. Paddy Pimblett has spoken out about Poirier next. Stay with us to find out what he said. Pimblett, who recently appeared on an episode of former middleweight champ Michael Bisping's Believe You Me podcast, revealed that he had backed Dustin to beat Charles Oliveira in their recent title fight, and then appeared to fire shots at the perennial lightweight contender. Pimblett didn't seem impressed with Poirier's performance, in particular his ground game, and claims that if the pair were ever to meet, the fight would end up in a similar outcome in Pimblett's favor. The baddie did acknowledge that MMA math didn't work, but seemed to take inspiration from how easy it was for Oliveira to dominate Dustin on the ground. Even though Poirier is a black belt in Brazilian Jiu-Jitsu himself, Pimblett himself is a black belt and has some pretty slick ground game. Some of his Cage Warrior victories provided some sensational submissions, with a flying triangle against Alexis Savdias a particular highlight. Pimblett facing Poirier isn't really a viable option at this point, as Paddy is unranked and Poirier is only looking at fights in the upper echelons of the lightweight or welterweight divisions. So Pimblett would have to put a run together, and quickly, if he was to get the chance to face the Diamond. It's been rumored the popular Englishman will be returning at UFC London this March, but nothing concrete has been announced yet. Who do you think would come out on top should the pair ever meet? Some pretty funny Dustin news now, stick around. As the holiday season is now unfortunately in the rear view mirror, the sports stars are focusing on a big 2022, but Dustin himself was on hand to wish everybody a happy holiday, that is, with the exception of a few current UFC stars. Dustin abandoned his gloves and replaced them with a Santa hat for the day, and sent out a tweet which wished everyone in the UFC a happy holidays, but was quick to tell fans that his his warm message did not extend to welterweight contender Colby Covington, arch rival Conor McGregor, or rumored next fight opponent Nate Diaz. Poirier doesn't see any of the three as friends, and we all know about the nonsense McGregor talks about before fights. But Covington also recently claimed that Poirier tries to cut so much weight in a bid to dominate guys who are naturally smaller than him. That theory didn't really work out as Oliveira beat him in his last fight, however. Diaz and Poirier have been at it since their 2018 bout was canceled, and it seems like the obvious fight to make next for the pair. What do you guys make of Poirier's comments? Pretty funny, right? News on the Henry Cejudo and Dana White beef next. Henry Cejudo, one of the cheesiest men of all of social media, has been involved in a spat with UFC head honcho Dana White of late. The diminutive former champ has been whining about a title shot for what seems like an eternity, but he was the one who was in fact retired, so we don't really get his point. Cejudo wants to fight Alexander Volkanovski for the Aussie's featherweight crown, but White is having none of it. When asked about the potential matchup, White said, "Isn't that guy retired? He's retired, isn't he? I mean, the last time I saw him, he's retired, and now he's mad at me because he didn't get a title shot? Doesn't even make sense. In a different weight class? It doesn't make sense." We would tend to agree with Dana here. I mean, the guy hasn't fought in over 2 years and wants to walk back into a title shot. At least when Conor McGregor does this sort of thing, the PPV numbers are there to justify him getting the title shot. Cejudo, on the other hand, is nowhere near the draw McGregor is. Not only this, but Cejudo has never competed in the featherweight division in his entire UFC career, so we're not sure how he expects to walk in and get a title fight. And White referenced this fact, saying that if he was to make a return, it would have to be in his own division first. Some news from the first UFC event of the year next. Stay tuned. Calvin Kattar took on Giga Chikadze in the headline fight of the UFC Vegas 46 event last night, January 15th, with Kattar taking the unanimous decision win. Kattar improved his UFC record to 7-3 after the fight, which he came into as a heavy underdog after taking a brutal beating at the hands of Max Holloway last year. Coupled with Chikadze's 7-fight win streak, Chikadze was sent straight to the hospital. The pair took a selfie in the hospital, and Chikadze captioned it simply by saying, "Respect." The fight is a front runner for Fight of the Year honors, but as we all know, there are some incredible bouts on the horizon, so there will be plenty of other fighters who will lay claim to that prize by the end of the year. Looking at the picture of the pair, it's pretty telling as to who won the fight, but Kattar's post-fight interview with Michael Bisping suggested he was unhappy with his performance and how many times he got hit. He said, "I know I can't fight like this if I got to. I still gotta clean this," naughty word, "up. This is no shape for a winner to look like or be in, but just happy to walk away with a win. It was certainly an impressive performance from the Massachusetts native, and to come back so strongly after a fight in which Dana White was worried for his life at last year. It shows the mental strength of the man. Who would you like to see him up against next? Let us know below." As always, thanks for tuning in today, guys, and remember to stop by next time. Also, if you want to do us a solid and share today's video, we'll be greatly appreciative. Bye, guys.